Hello, hello. How are you all doing today? I'm Priscilla with Priscilla's Greenhouse. What's going on today? And where are my favorite advance yourself people? You all know how we do this thing. We do take it from level to level to level to level. How you all doing today? I'm glad you all could stop by and join me today. And I know and we know that there's a lot going on in the world, people. With what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine, it really bothers me because it does have a trickle down effect, and it's going to affect the entire world. It's not just Russia invading Ukraine and we're over here in America and we're just going on as usual, because it's never like that. And we're going to feel it. We're already feeling it right now with the rise in gas prices and a number of things, food prices, even with COVID being in the land. So I would just say that I'm just putting it out there. If you listen to this video, it may be a whole year down the road, because what's going on with Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the invasion of Ukraine, it just seems like it's an atrocity to me. It almost like it's going to be another Holocaust that happened with the Jews back in Hitler days. And I don't know what else to say about it, but that we need to pray about it and pray for Russia, pray for the Ukraine, pray for Putin and his military force, because those children and adults, that's somebody's children. They're somebody's husband. That's somebody's child. Any way you look at it, war is a losing battle on both sides. It's going to be a loss on both sides, because we just don't know how it's going to go. We don't know how it's going to go. And I just ask for solicit your prayers on today. Just pray for the entire world, because this is something that we do not need. We do not need a war. There should have been, and I'm sure there was a way of solving it. But if someone wants to overtake a country because of power and authority, that's just their mindset. And we have to pray about the mindset, people. We have to pray about that mindset, because it's going to affect you, your children, my children, grandchildren for years to come. So if we can just do something as a unified force in prayer and fasting and praying, and I'm serious about this, because it has to be an intervention that we can't even see. But I'm told in the Word of God that Jesus is called the man of war. And there is a war going on in the land. There's a real war, and there's a real threat to our lives also, and to your life. So I would just say, before I get started talking about my hosta plants and planting everything, I just want you all to take a time out in your schedule every day and go down on your knees every day, if you're not doing it already, and cry out unto our Lord and our God and our Savior, Jesus Christ, that this stuff is stopped. That it has to be stopped, people, or we see something that will not stop unless it's stopped. Okay, unless he's stopped, the war will not stop, and lives will not stop being lost. And you know, it's so unfair. Let me say this here. Give me a moment, just a minute. I'll be right back. Let me say this. Let me say this. I'm an ex-military female. Army. I went into the military, not per se to go to war. I was 17 years old, wanting to go to school. My family couldn't afford to send me to school. I went to school through the military into occupational therapy school. I'm not going to be long on this here. And my thought in my mind, in my young little brain was, let me get an education, let the military help me to pay for it, let me make some money so I can be self-sufficient and have some money in my pocket, trying to get me a little car. That was my mindset, because at that time I didn't see no other way of doing it. As a young person, still in high school, I went to basic training. Okay? I went to basic training. And a war could have popped out at that time. It could have popped off then. And then what I asked myself, was I ready to go and get into a military tank, go on the front line in ice and snow, cold, freezing rain, no shelter, and fight for a country where the person that puts us in war, that calls out a war, their children are not on the front line. Their children do not have to go to war. What happened in Russia and Ukraine, the main ones that will call a war, ask me this question: are there children on the front line? Are there children inside the tanks? Are there children on the ground fighting on the ground? Ground battle, guerrilla warfare. Are these people children, lives on the line? The answer is no. They're not on the line, because they are already self-sufficient. They're financially stable. Their children do not have to go to war, but they are called a war. His girls are not on the front line. They're not fighting. They're not out there in the freezing rain. They're not inside of a war tank. But somebody's child is inside of those tanks. And either way the wind blows, or any way we look at it, if we come in and bomb every tank, we're killing somebody's children inside those tanks. And it is an atrocity, either way you look at it. Even if they made their minds up to give their lives for their countries, it's still something that I feel that this whole world, all the diplomatic power, all the laws and the governments of the world, I still feel we should be coming together on a different playing field, trying to end this here as peaceable as we possibly can. But at this point, I don't give up hope too quick in a situation, because there's always an avenue that could actually open up for negotiation. But if someone has made his mind up or her mind up to overtake a country by all means necessary, and then continue to move on after they overtake that particular country and keep on moving, then what, people? Then what? What is going to happen? We're going to pray. We're just going to have to pray about it, people. Okay. And where am I further advancing yourself, people? You all know how we do this thing. We do take it from level to level to level to level. Good to see you this morning. But what I'm going to be talking about today, people, it's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day. Even in spite of, it's still a wonderful day. And we're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to pray. Do you hear me? I've always been told, and I've always known, it's not a cliche. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes things, people. Prayer changes things that's going on that is ungodly in the eyesight of God, the human beings around you, animals, the earth, the land, the sea, the waters. If it's ungodly, it's ungodly. And we got to call on a higher power, people. We have to call on a higher power, and he is a man of war. And that's what we have to call on, and that's who we call on. And his name is King Jesus. That's who we got to call on. Because 150,000 troops all surrounding a little small country that's not even fighting back. From the last I heard, they hadn't even fired a weapon or anything. but they're on the run. That has to be fearful. I wouldn't want to be there. You're running for your life. And you don't know what's going to hit you. That has to be fearful. But I'm reminded of the book of Joshua. Joshua was afraid when all the multitude of the army was coming over the horizon or over the hill or whatever. He became fearful. And the Lord told Joshua, do not fear. He said, because on this day I'm with you. And long story short, the enemy's army was destroyed. And Joshua won that battle. We need a Red Sea experience, people, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Listen what I'm saying. We need a Red Sea experience in the name of Jesus. We need it. And we need it now because these people are dying for no reason. They're dying because they want to be independent. They want democracy. They want to have freedom of speech. They want to live freely in their country. If somebody going to take it away from them by force, and it can happen right here on this soil if we're not careful. Pray. I have been transplanting, planting, growing. Look at this plant. I'm telling you, I would say that maybe this one, I would say that maybe this straight neck squash plant, maybe this straight neck squash plant is trying to be leggy or something, but it's really got a thick stem on it. Maybe that's just the way it's growing because I have some of my compost off in there. I don't know. I just don't know what to tell you. I just think it's growing like that. It don't like it's leggy to me, but that stem is mighty long and I have a light over it. I have a light over that one, but they're coming out like that, so I'm thinking that main leaf for a straight neck squash plant, that just may be what you see. Is what you get. I'm thinking, what you see is what you get. Is what you get. Look at me now. What you see is what you get. All right. What you see is what you get now, baby. It's real. It's the best thing yet. Okay, people, let me stop. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Come on. I am getting ready to plant 3 hosta plants. Okay? This is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to plant 3 hosta plants because they can be grown inside your home, inside of containers. Yes, they sure can. Be grown in your home, inside of containers, and they need full shade to partial sun, but I already know they can live inside of your house once they start growing, and they don't need that much light. So they can grow up to 18 to 20 inches in height, and the hardiness zones is 3 to 9, and I'm in the grow zone of 7B in Arkansas. So got to plant them like 4 inches when you get ready to plant these things. All right. The instructions are all on the back. It says select a well-drained location that receives partial shade to full shade. Dig a planting hole 4 inches deep. Place with roots down in planting hole and any sprouts facing up. Cover with soil. Very simple, right? That's the instructions of it on the back here. And what I'm going to do is just cut them out of the bag here. Put them right here in case a lot of dirt, in case some of that loose soil start to fall, which I don't want it falling all over the place. Looking for some gloves. Hold on. I have a pair right there in front of the camera, but that pair has so much dirt on it. I need to put them in the washer and wash my gloves. It seems like every time I go into the store, and my eyes land up on some gloves, I buy a pack, because how many of you just lay gloves down sometime and tools around? Sometimes you're just busy and you just lay things down, and when you need them, you're like, wow, where did I put those gloves? And I don't like doing that. All right. Sometimes you take a chance when you're buying these hosta plants, and any plants that you're purchasing from a nursery or store or what have you. They say there's 3 root systems in here. There's 3 roots in here, so root systems. So 3 plants should be in here. My goodness. So the roots have to go down in the dirt like so. And that's what they're showing on here. Place with roots down in a planting hole, and any sprouts facing up. Cover with soil. There's no sprouts at all of facing. I'm going to snip some of my roots, okay? I do it all the time, and the plants still grow. So that's me now. Okay, that's the root system of another plant. Just straighten it out a little bit. So this is what you're looking at, really. Hosta plants. They said 4 inches. The root system longer than 4 inches, so I'm going to cut it about right here. I'm going to cut it right there. Yes, I am, because I don't know what really is going to happen anyway. One thing I know is still going to have a lot of roots on them. So I have 3 blue hosta plants. They're blue hosta, and they bloom in the summertime. And they're very beautiful. And you can grow hosta plants in containers. So I'm going to start these 3 plants in this container right here. I'm going to put all 3 of them in here. Yes, I am. I'm going to do it just like that, because I really don't have any pots that's like this size. I would have to go out in the utility room. But I see a couple of empty ones right here. I don't know. I may. Trying to think how I want to do this. That's a big root system on there. I'm going to do it the way I said I was going to do it from the beginning. Okay? Sometimes you just have to stick with what you've already said. All right. In this container here where I'm going to be mixing this potting soil up, this is a large, this thing here, it's larger than 1 gallon for sure. 1.5, maybe 2 gallon pot. But what I'm going to do is put my mask on. They have some peat moss. These gloves, you can't even tell whether I'm putting the thing around my ear or not. Oh my. Woo. That's hard. It's hard to do it like that. You can't feel it. All right. This is peat moss in this bag. I had it in here the other day because I was planting some things. Okay. I'm gonna put all of that in there. I'm just trying to get it all out. Got it. Peat moss. I'm going to put some perlite in there. Cover that up. Perlite kind of dusty. I'm trying to wait till that dust just die down a little bit. And I'm going to put some compost in there. Some of my compost is going to go in here along with some potting soil. I'm going to put some water in here also, mix it up so the mixture can be wet already. That should be enough. If it's not, I always can get some more. This is some of the potting soil from the Dollar Tree. And I noticed it got little twigs in it and everything, but I believe these plants right here, they already got real good, strong root systems. They can do it. They'll be able to. And you know, these little sticks may be good. They may be good. Maybe it's from a certain trees, you know. You got the instructions on here. Got some information. I saw it on here the other day. Potting soil, special potting blend for indoor and outdoor use, blended for proper drainage and support. So, contain composted, aged softwood bark fines. Now, what in the world is softwood bark? F-I-N-E-S. They're trying to say fine pieces of softwood, but all the pieces are not really fine, okay? Humus is in here, sand, and perlite. I don't see very much perlite in here, to be honest with you. I don't see very much. And I also put that in there. Hold on. I have two different types of compost that it has broken down in different stages. Okay. This one is really kind of broken down, but this one, it's broken down also, but I think I had coffee grounds and eggshells. I think there's coffee grounds and eggshells in this mixture here. And this is the mixture that I want to put some of it in here. Alright. That's a rock. I make my compost. I make my own compost. I see some tree limbs in mine too. Twigs and everything. So what I have to do, get my garbage bag here. This garbage bag right here, and I'm going to remove any twigs or sticks or anything, plastics or well, leaves could stay in there. Any type of sticks and twigs. even from the other compost. They're real big. I have to take them out. Okay. It may be a root system of some vegetation or something that I put in here. All right. Now at this point, I'm going to need some more water. Let me get some more water, and I shall return. I'm coming, I'm coming. All right, all right. I'm back. Let me add some water to this mixture. I have a pair of gloves here that's been through the ringer with dirt on them already. I think I'm putting those on because I want to mix my potting mix up now. Alright? To feel, to see if there's any big twigs in here, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. Get the peat moss nice and damp. Sometimes you find pieces of wood in it still. I don't know what that is, but just break it up. Good morning, good morning. You know, the other day, and of course I went in and I deleted the comment because that's why a lot of people will not continue to make videos. Someone had sent me a message. So they liked the video, but apparently they pay attention to if you got any likes and do you have any subscribers or what have you. And that she asked me a question, why no one's not really looking at my video. And I was real nice about it. No need in getting upset up with people because maybe they just ask you a question really to be honest, they don't know. And I said, well, I'm kind of new at this and I'm a new girl on the block making videos, and a lot of times people got their own people that they look at already, and they look at them faithfully. But there are several people I look at faithfully when they go live. I really do. I'm not going to call any names, but I look at them faithfully when they go live, and I understand, like I told her. I said yes, and that's why I ask people to subscribe to my videos like now and like my videos. It won't do anything to like a person's video and subscribe to unless you really don't like it. So that's what I had to tell her. Because what you find out a lot of times, people they completely give up on making videos because of a comment like that or either a question. But not me. Because this is what I do. And it took me a minute to really start putting my mind to making videos and going live on YouTube. So here I am. And you don't let anyone stop you from doing something that you like doing. And you're going to get people that's going to come on your live and on your streams and on your videos, and they're going to leave you some real dirty type of comments. But I promise you, you have to look at that comment and keep on pushing. All right. What I'm getting ready to do right now, I'm going to put some of this here mixture of the compost into this bucket. I'm going to almost fill it up, to be honest with you. As I dig through here, I see some dry peat moss. And the only thing I'm doing is just letting that moisture get on it and rubbing it through. Because it's the type of peat moss that's already kind of like separated. You just got to wet it. Some of it is not separated. And it'll put me in the mind of cocoa coir. Puts me in the mind of cocoa coir. And that cocoa coir, you have to let it sit in some water sometime for 2 hours. And I don't want to use up all my potting soil. I'm going to put these plants in here and give them some root space to start growing. I was thinking I won't fill it all the way up, but I got to thinking, I'm wasting my potting soil. And there's no need to be wasting your potting soil for something that you're going to be putting. That root system got to go down 4 inches anyway, but I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut the root system and go from there. Not that complicated. There's some other things I need to pot up, so. This is over half full. And I'm going to just tap it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a label now. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to make a plant label. While it's fresh on my mind. And here's the plant markers right here. Only thing I'm going to do is put Hostas on here and put today's date, which is what, the 24th? So let me do this. Got my marker here. Put it right here in the container. That way, when you know you've made you a plant marker, it keeps you on track. You don't want to be stuck in a situation and you're looking at a container and you don't even know what's in it. You don't even know what's in it. I'm just looking outside. We got a lot of ice here in Arkansas, in the West Memphis area. And the trees are all frozen and they're melting now. The ice is melting. It's really melting. A lot of trees fell, a lot of limbs fell, and I thank God we had our trees trimmed. As a matter of fact, maybe about 2 months ago. Wow. That tree is really leaning like that whole tree is getting ready to break or something. But it's really leaning. It's leaning far too. It's a weird type of lean. It's just like it's about to fall. But all of the ice is melting off of the limbs and the branches now from the trees. It looks like it's raining outside. All right. I'm going to do this now. Since it came this soil is the soil that came in. I'm just going to put it in here. No big deal. Whew. Just calm some of that dust down. Alright. Put a little more water in there because I just dumped that. Whatever they have around it, they just have peat moss in there around those root systems. But anyway, I just wanted to add a little of whatever it is that's in the bag that they came in my mixture here. And that's all. Got that done. Now, this root system this is where it's supposed to come out at. So, take that off. That's what I do all the time, so. And I'm going to put it about 4 inches under. It has to be a nice size hole too because of the root system. Okay, open it up a little bit and just stick it down in here. And just let the part at the top just stick out. And press the soil around it. Make sure the root systems are down below. That's what I'm doing. And I'm covering it up. That's all. And I'll water them in later. And I'm going to do the same thing for each one. It's 3 hosta plant, and they're blue hosta plants. Okay, they're blue. Hosta plants are really, really tough. They come back every year. They'll die back in the wintertime when that freeze come through, and then they'll come back every year, and they're beautiful. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm opening up an area that's 4 inches. Make sure there's no air pockets in there. Here's another one. This is the last one, hosta plant. This is what I'm planting today. I may do something else with the vegetable plants today also. That one. Need to really go down in there. All right. There's 3 hosta plants. You can compost this here. There's some root systems. Okay, I have 3 hosta plants in here now, and I have a container that I want to sit them down on because I'm going to water them now, and I don't want water all over the place, so I'll set it in here. I love these containers. They also come with grow trays, but right now I'm just going to use it to put the hosta plant inside of it, just like this, alright? Just like this. There's already some water already came through there, but I have plastic covering this area here. Get that up as I go anyway. Set that right here. How about some water now? Water each one of them really good. And that's it. 3 blue hosta plants. They can grow in containers inside of your home or wherever you want to put them. And they don't require very much light. That's what I like about them. They don't require a whole bunch of light once they start to grow. So I have it already marked. So there's 3 hosta plants I have in here. And the only thing I need to do now is just put it somewhere out of the way. It's not like my vegetable plants that I have in here. This plant will be just fine. These plants will do just fine sitting right here. Okay, I'm finished with that. I have noticed that some of my zinnia plants, okay, which are right here, and I'm not going to pick them up because they're sitting in a tray with water. Yeah, I'm going to leave them right in this tray here as I work with these zinnia plants. I'm going to set them right here. This is zinnia plants that I'm growing inside. Started them inside under the grow lights here. And the plants here are doing really good. I got to do something with the zucchinis. I may have to transplant some zucchini plants today. I'm not for sure. This light gives me trouble sometimes. But anyway, the peppers are still looking real good. These are the big Jim chili medium hot peppers right here. Big Jim medium hot. And the zucchini and the Black Beauty squash is coming up. The evergreen bushing onion, they're coming up. And everything is just coming up under here. Corn is just spreading out. And these are the plants that I started for some of the neighbors here, and they're just jumping. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to deal with these zinnia plants, okay? And I'm going to take this label here. I already know zinnias are in here. I'm going to put some potting soil in this cup. I need to take some of them out and actually put them in some soil so their root system can go on down. Start to really, really grow. They're not in a whole lot of soil here. So they're just in a tray. You know, I told you all about how you can use the meat trays, keep your meat trays. Or you can put a hole in the meat tray, put holes all in the bottom. And I have zinnia seeds growing all in here. So let me just take the best ones out. And there's one. Got that one. Put it in here. Here's another one looking really good. Take it up out of there. Set it off in here. Put about 3 plants in here. Here's another one looking really nice. Just going to take it and put it right here. Put some soil around it from here. Somebody calling me. I'm still live, Sharice. Good morning, but I'm live. I'll call you back. Bye. I'll text everybody sometime. There's my daughter. She will call me all the time when I go live, seem like, but it's okay. And I guess she thought I was finished. They be thinking you get through real fast and you just rush through it, but I don't rush through my live. So I'll call her back later. It's all right. She said, "You still live?" Yeah, I'm still live. I'll get with her. Something they want to talk about. This weather is crazy and you never know. Tell you about the weather, what's going on in their neck of the woods, which is fine. Let's see what happened to this one. We got out of pocket some kind of way. You need to get back in the middle, partner. Get some of this soil here. Put it right there. Okay. That looks pretty good. It came out just perfect. It came out just perfect, you know? I'm just getting these zinnia plants transplanted off into a separate container from the container that I've been growing them in for ever since January the 27th. I've been growing these zinnia plants in a meat tray, and they've been doing real good. I'm talking about really beautiful. Let me show you the ones that I transplanted out of this same tray now, so I can show you the difference in what they really look like when they really start growing. When they really start growing. So I'm just going to tap this down, get the air pockets out. But these are the zinnias, and I'm just going to take this label and stick it right here, because I already know these are zinnia seeds in here, plants. But I want you to look at this, and they were planted on January the 27th. Almost a whole month and 3 days, right? And the ones that's in this meat tray looks like this. You see? I want to show you something now. Here's the difference. I took 3 out, and on February the 7th, I planted the ones that was grown on January the 27th. I took them, and on February the 7th, I put the same ones in here. It's the same plants, but you can see the difference in what they look like and everything. The leaf structure, how big they have gotten, because I have them under lights. I have them getting some good nourishment, and I have some of my compost in here. I have some of my compost in this one now. There was no compost really in the this setup right here. Maybe just a little bit, because I was afraid the seeds would die. So I didn't put a lot of compost in there in case it had a lot of nitrogen in it. So here we go. They've been growing ever since January the 27th, just like these, the same plants. But I transplanted them into another container on the 7th, and I put it up on some light and some heat. So that's the difference. All right. So I'm going to put these little baby boys right here in an area where they can get some sun. The sun is not out today because the weather is really looking kind of gloomy. So, only thing I can do right now with the plants is just, hey, try to make some room for them. And I'll just put these down here where my hosta plants are in this container, which is a perfect setup. And I can always water these plants from the bottom, okay? They can always be watered from the bottom. I'm going to let you see some of the plants. The corn plant is still looking really good. That's the corn plant. It's looking good. The bean plant. The garden bean plant. I have a couple of the garden bean plants out in the greenhouse. There's 2 garden bean plants right here growing in this container. It's the garden bean plant. It looks good too. cucumber plant, straight neck squash plant. That's the cucumber plant. And this is the straight neck squash plant. They look all right. I see something, Jubilee beefsteak, and long red cherry, tomatoes. They're coming because I'm growing them for somebody, and somebody called me again. They're not going to leave me alone today. Sorry about that, people. That's just the way it is. Phone doesn't even ring until you get busy doing something, trying to show people something, right? Okay, anything else? I want to show you this plant right here. This is my pea plant. Let me put something on here because it got some water on it. This is my pea plant right here. Pea plant. All right, it looks good too. So the little experiment that I'm trying for the first time is showing me that things are really, really looking good. My carrot plants look really good. Okra, 2 plants was about to die. And I mean, they were just leaning over half dead. And they're coming back strong. 2 okra plants, they're looking really good. So that's the okra, straight neck squash plant. I'm starting seeds for a couple of neighbors here. And this is what I wanted to show you all the other day. Skinny Boy Randy told me about these things. Skinny Boy Randy was telling me about these little grow rockets, okay? This here is a Zinnia mix. This is a Zinnia mix. I don't think I even planted it. Let me see if it's still in here. This is a Zinnia mix. I haven't even touched it. This is a Zinnia mix flower rocket. All right. Dollar Tree is where I got this from. The Dollar Tree. Skinny Boy Randy on YouTube. I heard about this here from him. And I got a tomato rocket. I got a tomato rocket from the Dollar Tree. Just like this one. But this is tomato, and this is what I did with it. I made a little miniature greenhouse out of it, and look what I have in there. Tomatoes. They may be getting leggy or something because I just wanted to see was it going to work because it was really looking like it wouldn't work. But tomatoes are in here. Tomatoes. So I'm going to close it back up, and I'm going to put it back under the light. And I just started putting it on the light a couple of days ago. I just started doing it a couple of days ago, so it won't be, so the tomato plants won't be so leggy. But you know, you can save a leggy tomato plant. Don't let it die. If you see that those tomato seedlings are too long and leggy, transplant them out into a container like this and bury that stem all the way up to the neck of that plant. Put it all the way down in dirt. Put it all the way down in a pot, a big pot, especially if you're going to grow container plants or something. But put it all the way up to the neck of that plant. When I say all the way up to the neck of the plant, I'm talking about all the way up to where you see the leaves. Put dirt all the way up around it. And then it's still going to grow. And put it under a light if it's inside. And put the light down real close to it. About 2 inches above it. And then you'll see that plant is going to grow real good. And it's going to do real good. So what my next thing is, I'm not going to do it today. But I'm just going to pull back the container and let these plants get some real good light from my grow light. And one light get really, really warm. Woo! That one get warm. And I believe that's why those plants are doing so good. But Everything is looking really good, people. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to transplant these zucchini plants here. You see how tall they are? And I don't want to move that tray too much. But I will. Sometimes when I'm doing a live and I'm going to water, let me water just a minute. These peppers, some of them are still growing. And I'm just going to take this off. Because this is in a plastic container like this, like a Tupperware thing. And I'm going to water this bad boy from the bottom. I'm going to let it soak up all the water it needs. It needs some water. Because that cardboard starts to dry out sometimes. These are cardboard planters where I plant these seeds in. But when that cardboard starts to dry out, it really and truly, it dries the roots up and it can kill that plant. Because I noticed that it was doing it to the plant the other day. Those cardboard, biodegradable cardboard, whatever you call those containers, and I have these pepper plants growing in the container, but when I pull one of the plants out and I peel the cardboard down, for some reason, water wasn't getting down there, and I don't know what that was all about, but when I watered them from the bottom, the whole cardboard and everything gets soaking wet, and that's what I want. So that's why I do it like that.
Y'all doing all right today? It looks like I need to just pour all this water in here for the ones on the bottom here and let them water themselves from the bottom today, because they're looking kind of rough. See what they're going to do. They can pull all that water in.
Sometimes when you have a lot of plants growing and you're growing a lot of things in your home, you can mess around and go for a couple of days. If you don't have your alarm set in your phone, and you walk around and you look at some plants that's halfway dead almost because they're dried out, and you pretty much forgot to put some water on them because you didn't see them because they're all the way up on the bottom on a shelf, and you got a lot of plants you're taking care of. That's me right there. I'm telling you.
But it's okay. I want to show you my little tomato plants. They're looking real good.
I transplanted them the other day. I started them on February the 9th. And they're looking nice. Only thing I know, there was tomato seeds. They got all mixed up, so it's some type of tomato plant. I know they're tomatoes, so whatever comes up, I'll eat them. Simple as that.
And the transplanted collards.
You all know I transplanted these collard plants the other day. I transplanted those little collards the other day, and they're looking pretty good. They're looking good. I just have to look and see, because that camera, woo! It's hard when you're trying to focus something on a laptop camera. You know, everything be cut off. If you're not careful, your plants are all cut off and you don't know what you're recording. But people, where am I forever advancing yourself, people? You all know how we do this thing. We do take it from level to level to level to level. I am so glad you all could join me today. And please, please smash that subscribe button. Come on, smash it now. And when I go live, you'll get a notification that I'm live. And I am the new girl on the block. And that's why you probably don't know anything about me. But I'm here, and I'm here for the long haul. So God bless you all. Continue to pray for the country, people. Continue to pray. Peace. Love you. I'll see you later.